What's up, guys? This is DJ Matt. Welcome to Sports Chat with DJ Matt. DJ Echo hopefully will be joining us pretty soon. He's running a little late today. No big deal, yo. We'll start the show anyway. So yeah, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on Instagram at Sports Chat with DJ Matt 1 to get all the latest updates. So let's get rolling with the topics today. First off, so the Saints played the Chiefs Sunday, and we lost, as obviously I think we all were kind of expecting. I didn't think the Saints were winning that game, no matter who was quarterback. But our quarterback that day was Drew Brees, and he didn't look that great. He threw a nice, I think, 40-yard pass though, which to Emmanuel Sanders, I believe, which was a really good pass earlier in the game. But he started off like 0 for 5, 0 for 6, which is really not quintessential Drew Brees. Like, that's not him normally. So it was an off game for him, I think. Obviously, his first game back from that rib injury and then the punctured lung. So I had a feeling it was, he wasn't going to have that great of a game. And I think Chiefs defense, everyone looks at their offense. Their defense is not – it's not like an elite defense. It's not. But it's not a bad defense either. Like, it's a pretty solid defense. It'll get stops when it needs to. So the Saints' offense was kind of stagnant most of the game, I felt like. But I got to give props to our Saints defense because that was where I was worried the most. Because, like, offense, I knew we were going to have some problems. Like I said, Drew's first game back, usually, first game, you're going to not be in a rhythm. So, excuse me. So the offense being the way the offense was actually wasn't surprising to me. But the way our defense played, I thought I feel better about the Saints now because I know we just came off also that Eagles loss, which we looked horrible. So to come against the Chiefs the next week with Drew coming back, I thought our defense played as well as it could have. I mean, like the defense kept us in the game for the most part. It was a great performance by the defense. I'm really satisfied with the way our defense played. It looks like they were getting pressure on Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes is going to do his thing and get out of the pocket, make plays with his legs, throw crazy passes. Like, he's going to do that because he's Mahomes. But I thought our defense honestly played amazing. And it gives me hope that if our offense could get it together, we could have maybe pulled that one out. Like, it actually made me feel really good about the Saints, actually. Like, I actually feel better. After the Eagles game, I was like, I don't feel good at all about them. But now seeing them play against the Chiefs, it's like, okay, well, maybe there's a chance, that we could maybe if we were going to go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, we could beat them. So it's that type of deal. It's, it's a game, like I said, I expected to lose. I just wanted to see if we could make it close. We did. So that's very encouraging, I think, for us. And like I said, once Drew gets back into his rhythm and gets back, obviously Michael Thomas is on IR now, so he's out for the rest of the regular season, hoping to be back for the playoffs, which that will also help the offense as well. So hopefully we get everything together. In terms of getting the bye, the first round bye, that you could throw out the window. I don't see Green Bay. I mean, I think I'm picking Green Bay to lose this week, but it's not going to be enough for the Saints to overtake the Packers for the 1 seed. So I mean, Packers are going to get the 1 seed. I'm confident of that. The Saints just need to win one more game. They win one more game and they win the division. So I'm confident we have 2 games left. We're going to win one of the 2. We have Minnesota on Christmas Day, and then we got Carolina week 17. I think we can at least beat Carolina, and I think we should beat Minnesota, but you never know. But so I can see the Saints are going to win the division. The Bucs went over the Falcons. That's kind of expected. I mean, the Falcons are the Falcons, so it's not a big deal. So the Saints are going to be probably a 2 or 3 seed. That's what they're going to be. It sucks because if we have to play Green Bay, we have to go to Green Bay in the cold and all that. So that's going to be very interesting. But the Saints right now, I'm okay with the Saints right now. I feel good. I feel better than I did last week. The fact that we kept it a close game, that's all I wanted to see, and that's what happened. So good Saints. Get better next week. Beat Minnesota. We'll be in the playoffs. So that's good. So another thing I want to get to. The Patriots. So the Patriots are finally after a decade at least, they're out of the playoffs. They're nowhere to be found in the playoffs this year. Like it's amazing. I'm not gonna lie. But so the question is, who's to blame for the Patriots not going to the playoffs now? Because you have to blame somebody, right? The blame game is always played, you know. So who's to blame? Is it Cam? Is it Bill Belichick? You know, and you know, it's tough. I think for me personally, I give Cam a pass. I give him a pass for this season. He played as well as he could have. I really do. I think now obviously he could have played better. There's no doubt. But considering what the roster of the team is, especially on offense, what their roster on offense is, and the fact that he did have COVID at a point and he missed a couple games too, that is something. Oh look, oh, I think Echo's here. Hello, Echo. Echo, Echo, Echo. So considering that, I think Cam did a good enough job. You didn't miss much. I just finished talking about the Saints. I can get your take on the Saints real quick because I just finished that topic. So you didn't miss much. Welcome to the show, Echo.
I'm sorry. I got back home yesterday. I had 2 flights, so, you know. Anyway, talking about the Saints.
Yeah, we can go back to the Saints.
It's easy. I have hope after that game. Because I'll tell you what, going into that second half, it was 14-9. You usually don't see that from the Kansas City Chiefs. Usually a game like that, Saints Chiefs, you would expect us to have like 28, 27, something like that to score at half. But the defense was holding the Chiefs. Of course, the offense wasn't looking too good, but you got to think Drew Brees was just coming back after 11 ribs being hurt in a punctured lung. Michael Thomas wasn't there, so I really do believe that if the Kansas City Chiefs get through the Bills and like the Browns and whatever, and the Saints can get through the Packers, I really do think that there's a shot that we can beat them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because that's my whole point. I wasn't really worried about our offense. I knew our offense was going to be weird because this is Drew's first game back from that injury. So and Michael Thomas is on IR. He's out for the rest of the season until playoffs. So I figured our offense wasn't going to be that great to begin with. I wanted to see what the defense would do. If the defense could at least make themselves known and be a presence, right, and not be bulldozed by the Chiefs. And the defense, I thought, did the best they could. I was really happy, and that's what gave me hope. Is that okay? Our defense can hang with the Chiefs' offense. You know, like I think we could have won that game. If our offense was better, we could have won that game. I think easily.
Yeah.
What I saw, so.
Yeah, okay, but you think about it. That safety that we got. If I think it was Anzalone who fell on it and it went to the back of the end zone, if he falls on it correctly and that's a touchdown, we win that game. So you got to think about this was a close game usually, and you're seeing a trend that these Kansas City Chiefs games, whenever they're playing good teams, they're close games.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that there's a possibility that the Chiefs don't even go to the Super Bowl, but.
I've been saying this all year. There's something off about the Chiefs. I still don't know what it is, to be honest with you. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. The Chiefs are a weird team. They're a great team, but a weird team.
Yeah.
So I like the Saints' chances against the Chiefs if we were to play them in a Super Bowl. My only concern now is really because we're in the playoffs already. We already know that. We have to win one more game to win the division. I think we can do that. We have Minnesota this week and then Carolina next week. We should be able to at least win one of those 2 games, if not both of them.
Right.
So I think we'll be in the top 4 seeds. I think the 1 seed, just forget about it. Honestly.
Yeah, Green Bay would have to lose, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah. So if we can go to Green Bay and win, that's gonna be the biggest thing. If we can do that.
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah. So I still I've hoped for the Saints now. Like it's okay now. So I was just getting on to Cam Newton and the Patriots because the Patriots just obviously were eliminated from the playoffs for the first time in like a decade, which is very nice. So who do you think is to blame though for the Patriots not making the playoffs this year?
Unfortunately, there's not much more that you could say other than Cam because Cam's really only the big change to the team. And considering that the team made the playoffs last year, and I mean, of course, they were bounced in the first round, but the team made the playoffs last year, and then now they're kicked from contention. And I know that Cam didn't play the entire season because of COVID, but still, you look at it, you got to blame Cam for this one. I mean, you're not going to blame Belichick, and you're not going to blame the defense, so you got to blame Cam at this point.
Okay, I disagree. This is where I'm coming from. Like, okay, should have Cam should have played better. I'm not debating that part. Cam could have played better. I blame Bill because he's the one that constructed the roster, right? Like, okay, like defensively, that's not. I mean, all the opt outs and all that stuff. That's not on anybody. That's just the situation. But the offensive side of the ball, Cam, I argue, had no weapons all year. You know what I mean? So I thought Cam did the best of what he had. And actually, to be honest with you, considering what the roster is, I think Bill actually did a good job coaching that team and getting them at least they were competitive for most of the season, right? So it's not that bad of a thing. I mean, it's not like they were like the Jets or anything. You know, they were a respectable team. So I mean, I mean, I blame Bill a little bit more than Cam, just because he's the GM and he constructed the roster. That's the only reason why I blame Bill a little bit more than Cam. Cam did the best with what he had, and he could have done better with it. But I just think no one. I don't even think Tom Brady would have won with that roster, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it is obvious that Cam is probably not going to be there next season.
That's what I wanted to bring up too. Good thing you brought that up. I'm looking at so obviously quarterbacks available next year. I think they're going to be a good bit. I think Matthew Stafford's going to be available. Carson Wentz, we'll get to him later. I think he'll be available. Matt Ryan could be available. I think Dak, if Dak doesn't get his money or something with Dallas, he might be available, depending on how that situation goes. Sam Darnold, I know the Jets just won a game for whatever reason, but if they want to move on from Sam Darnold, he could be available. I'm looking at a team like San Francisco. San Francisco has been a name that's been the constant of a team trying to maybe upgrade from Jimmy G. So I think Cam to San Francisco could be a possibility, and I think that he'd do better in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, who's a better offensive guy than Bill is, and with a better roster right now. So I would like to see Cam with a better roster maybe and see how that goes.
I suppose, but I will say that in looking at Cam, I think that shoulder injury is really prohibiting his arm. Like, and I mean, obviously, but whenever he had his MVP season, of course he was all about like running, but Cam could still throw the ball.
Right.
Now you don't see that too much from Cam. He's not that he doesn't have that passing ability to where you don't really know what he's going to do. So I don't know. But with the Patriots, I think I would like to see either Matthew Stafford or Carson Wentz go to the Patriots. Those are the two people I'd like to see go to the Patriots.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. I think the Patriots could honestly draft because they're gonna be. I don't know what pick they're gonna have or where they're at right now, but I think they're in the middle of the draft, right?
Right.
Probably like pick 15, 16, something like that. I think they could get a quarterback at that spot. Like, because not with the Jets. I mean, obviously Jacksonville now is going to probably get Trevor. Now the Jets have a decision between Sam Darnold and Justin Fields. Justin Fields could drop in the draft. Trey Lance is a guy that's been talked about. He could be dropped in the draft. I mean, the guy from BYU, Whittington, I believe Whittington, whatever his name is, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson. Yeah, he could be a. So I think there's options for New England in the draft to get a quarterback, maybe.
But this is what I will say. I will say I think they need to prioritize giving whoever's at the helm weapons.
Yeah.
Because you got to think that there are going to be a lot of quarterbacks available this season. And whenever I see that as a GM, I would say, okay, we need a quarterback, but we also need weapons. I would go with weapons first and then worry about that quarterback because this is the thing. If you have some good weapons, you're more likely to get a quarterback wanting to be there. Because if you look at the weapons that they have right now, that's less likely to draw a quarterback than if you have a top 15 wide receiver from the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why the draft last year was a little weird for me for New England because, like, They could have drafted a quarterback last year, I think. I don't know. I don't know who was available when they picked, but they could have had somebody. And then the receiving class was loaded last year. And then they drafted a safety from a college I never even heard of. You know what I'm saying? So their Bill's draft was a little weird for me, and I was like, I think they even took a kicker, like fifth round or something. It's like, why, like this loaded receiver class, you could at least got a guy that you can get in the building that you can say, okay, he could be a franchise receiver for the next 10 years. And then we can work on a quarterback now. Like I don't like the way the Patriots draft, to be honest. I think that's a big problem. And that's why I blame Bill more than Cam, because I think
the problem is that over the past 20 years, they never really had a top draft pick. It was always end of the round, and Bill would always build people that you just never heard of.
Yeah, it's weird. It was genius at the time because it worked. But like now it's like, well, maybe you might want to try to get, better quantities or whatever.
Yeah, if only they would have grabbed James Robinson.
They didn't have to draft. He was undrafted free agents. They just had to pick
Yeah. So I'm saying, so they could have, but
yeah. So let's get to the Jets now. My one question is just why? Why did they win that game? Real question. Why did the Rams lose that game?
I think that's the real question. And this is what I will say. I forget who said it, but a Jets player was asked, like, what do you say to the fans who want you to lose? And he's like, well, that's just not real fans. We want to win. And I do think the Jets want to win. Look, if I'm playing on a football team, professional, non-professional, whatever, I want to win every game.
Yeah.
Just bottom line. If I've lost 13 games up until then and I have 3 more games, I want to prove to myself that, hey, I can at least win a game. So I think that was the mindset of these Jets players. And
it should be.
It should be. And to be fair, going out there and purposely losing games is kind of frowned upon / illegal in the league. So you still have to play.
Right.
But I will say that this is more the Rams' fault because, what are the Rams doing losing to the Jets? And at home. And it was a pretty convincing loss, like it wasn't like this thing like, oh, well, if this call wasn't made, they would have won. It was a pretty convincing loss.
I'm telling you.
That's more on the Rams.
In the picks last week, if you would have big brained that and picked the Jets, you would have looked like a genius. You would have looked like a genius. That's crazy.
I know.
But yeah, I think that was the consensus though around, at least the media, it seemed like, especially people that talk all the time. They were like, well, as a fan, it sucks because we're not getting Trevor, but I'm happy for the players, that the players got to win. And you know what? Go back to the previous week against the Raiders when they all-out blitzed and had nobody covering, the receiver, and they fired Greg Williams the next day. I think that actually, and then them winning this week, I think that to me shows that I think the coaching staff has been trying to win too. The fact that that defensive coordinator is fired after that play call and that lost them a game, that game that they should have won. Right. So I think, you know what, I kind of earned some respect for Adam Gase here, which is weird to say. The fact that, he should be fired no matter what, but I'm just saying, like, at least from what I'm seeing, it's like the players want to win at least some games, and then the coaching staff for the most part, I think, was trying to win these games. So I think in that way, I got some respect for them. At least they're like not trying to tank. It's just their team's just bad, I guess. Like the Jaguars, like they're not tanking. It's just they're bad.
Right. And
so
situation. Let me look at this. If you put the Jets up against a college football team outside of like Clemson, the Jets would probably win. So it's just you got to think like Jets are playing against the best football players in the world, and if I was on the Jets, I would want to win games. I don't care about draft picks, and I want to at least win a game. But it just sucks that them winning just one game is going to take away them getting Trevor Lawrence, and I don't know.
It was weird. But good job, Jacksonville. They're gonna get Trevor. Poor Gardner.
I still think that they should roll with Gardner Minshew, but now that Trevor is on the table, they're just not going to pass him.
Yeah. So it's
like
very Thing what the Jets are going to do with Sam Darnold, though. That's interesting. And I think Sam Darnold's actually not a bad quarterback. I just think, like I say, he's on a bad team. What do you want him to do? It's
Yeah, and Adam Gase just ruined him. I don't know. If the argument was Justin Fields versus Gardner Minshew, I would almost say roll Gardner Minshew, but now that it's Trevor Lawrence versus Gardner Minshew,
yeah.
just pick Trevor Lawrence.
So let's get to the AFC North now. That has heated up. I mean, the Steelers are on some type of bend that's not good. The Browns, I think, are only one game back from
Yeah,
first.
they're only one game back
Who
from
would have
first
thought
place.
that in the year? I mean, I had picked them to go to the playoffs, but I didn't think they might have won the division. Like Jesus Christ, and the Steelers and Browns play Week 17, so I think that division will be decided then.
I think that the Browns win the division
Dude,
because the Steelers are looking like donkey doo-doo.
Yeah. I mean, let's give some respect to Baker, okay? Like, I keep saying this. I feel like Baker is a good quarterback. Can we just all agree? I feel like we just need to collectively all agree that
You say this every week.
He's been playing great. I mean,
yeah, I agree with you. You're Yeah, I do think Baker is playing well, but I can tell you who's not playing well.
Yeah, Steelers. They lost
The
to the
Steelers.
Buffalo.
The Steelers offense is not playing well.
Juju keeps dancing the logos, pissing everyone else off, and then he gets
destroyed. I don't know, man. And I said it like week 7 or 8. I said the Steelers do not look like an 11-0 team. They do not look like an 11-0 team. I think back to 2009. You had the Colts and you had the Saints. For 13 weeks straight, they were both undefeated. They look like a team that should be 13-0, the both of them.
Yeah.
Even whenever the Saints lost to Dallas, they still look like a team that should have been 13-0. And then the Colts only went 14-2 because they rested their starters. They didn't need to.
Pat says we were 14-0, but then we chose to lose. Like that team could have went 16-0.
Oh, easily.
Without a doubt.
Throughout the playoffs, they dominated people. Even that Minnesota game, we were winning that pretty good. Same thing with the Colts. They dominated the competition, and we got to the Super Bowl. The Steelers, all of their wins have been close. They almost lost to a Dallas team that had no Dak, no Andy Dalton. They almost lose to these terrible teams. And then what happens? They lose to the Washington, the team with no name. You lose to the Bills, fine. And you lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, who have literally nothing to play for.
Yeah, that's bad.
I get that you can lose on any given Sunday, but the fact is you should beat the Washington football team. You should beat the Bengals with a third string in there, but you don't.
I will say, though, I think now that the defense is compromised to an extent because of all the injuries, the offense needs to be better. It just needs to be. If they're going to do anything, that offense has to get going because that defense is still a really good defense, but with all the injuries, what do you want them to do? It can't all be on the defense. The offense has to get their butts in gear. Run the ball. That's what they don't have.
And like I said it a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it again. Steelers aren't getting past the first game that they play in the playoffs, period.
Probably not. Let's see. So you got potentially, they play Indy this week. This is very interesting to see how that game goes. I think that's a game that
I think personally that they go 11-5. I think they lose the next 2 weeks, honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and if that happens, the Browns win the division.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So who would have thought, man, the Browns could win the division? That's crazy. It's such a good division too. Wow. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm pulling for the Browns. I really am. I want them to get some respect, man. I'm tired of everyone dissing on the Browns, man. They're a good team. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Carson Wentz drama. So it was reported that Carson Wentz doesn't want to be a backup long term, I guess. Obviously, he's going to probably be the backup for the rest of the season. But I guess next season, if he were to be the backup, he doesn't want to be the backup. Which I completely understand. You pay him $100 million. You're the guy, basically. Is what what your contract says and then your bench. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm not paying you $100 million to sit on the bench. So I think it is in the best interest to just move on from Carson.
Yeah. Now this is the problem with Carson Wentz. I can understand if you got hurt and Jalen Hurts came in and then he blew it up. That would be one thing, because then at that point you would say, okay, I want a shot at my job back. Like at the end of
Yeah.
the season, going into this offseason, you say, listen, I was the guy before. You're the one that's paying me millions of dollars. He's on a rookie contract right now. I want to play. That would make sense. But this is the problem. Carson Wentz was not playing good. He lost his job to Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts,
It's playing great.
first week back, beat the Saints. So I do agree that if I was the Eagles, I wouldn't keep Carson Wentz, because you just showed to me, and even if it was in 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, that Jalen Hurts is the better guy going forward than Carson Wentz right now.
Well, the team is
Right.
playing better as a whole too. That's the big thing, I think.
Right. But this is the problem with Carson Wentz. He's got this huge contract with him. Who's going to want to take that?
I saw something yesterday that I almost threw my phone down. So there was this. Okay, so Dan Orlovsky, he was a noted Carson Wentz defender, which good for him. So he was on Twitter, and somebody commented on one of his Twitter posts or whatever, and it said like, okay, Darius Leonard for Carson Wentz, who says no? I'm like, everyone would say no to that. I mean, why would you do that? That's a terrible trade. Terrible trade.
Whoever says yes to that and has a job in the NFL should be fired. I'm sorry.
Now the Eagles would say yes to that, I think, but the Colts
would.
would.
Of course.
I mean, Chris Ballard would be an idiot, and he's not an idiot, by the way. He's one of the best GMs in the league. If you think he's giving up Darius Leonard, that's like Dallas trading Luka. That's not happening. You know what I mean? Darius could be probably his whole career. I'd be shocked if he's not. You know what I mean? Like, that's a dumb trade. The Colts have been a name that's been coming up because of Frank Reich, and he coached Carson in Philly. He was the OC in Philly for the Super Bowl run and all that. But I think the Colts are sticking with Phillip, to be honest. I think because Phil's playing great, so I'd keep Phillip one more year.
I mean, okay, you want to get Carson Wentz, get Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not worth Darius Leonard, though. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Not. I think every GM would take Darius Leonard right now over Carson Wentz.
Oh, not even close.
Without a question. It's interesting where you could go. You bring up New England, that could be a place. I mean, what does Detroit do if they get rid of Matt Stafford, bringing Carson Wentz? Maybe that could be.
I mean, it's time to rebuild for the Lions, honestly. So.
Yeah. I want Matthew Stafford to go to like a good team, a team that could win a championship. Because I mean, like I think he's one of those guys that deserves one. I think he's been vastly underrated just because he's in Detroit. He doesn't get enough attention. Like he's a great quarterback. I mean, he'd be a Hall of Famer, I think, anywhere else, to be honest.
I have an idea. Let Saints sign Matthew Stafford.
Oh, I would love that. The only thing is, I don't know if he can wear his number 9 though, because they're probably going to retire that from Drew.
Well, no, he's going to have to wear a different number, but it's okay. He'll understand.
But you know what though, Drew's a nice guy. Maybe he'll make an exception. He might, you can wear number 9. You can wear it.
Yeah, until he gets retired from me, you can wear number 9.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love Matt Stafford in New Orleans. I think that'd be an amazing offense. I mean, pretty much you put any quarterback in New Orleans, I think they would succeed. I really do. Even Carson Wentz. I mean, although I wouldn't like it at the time, I guess I feel like over time, I think Sean Payton could maybe fix him, and maybe,
but I just don't want that contract.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, the Saints don't have cap room for that. There's no way. The Saints are an interesting team. Like I think they will go to Taysom next year. I really do. I think Taysom played well enough to earn, at least a chance, maybe. I know the Eagles game left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, but I think overall, I mean, he played okay. I mean, you can win with him.
Well, it's not just the Eagles game. It's the whole time. I mean, we were winning games, but the problem is that I was seeing things that I wasn't liking, and it came all together in that Eagles game.
Yeah.
So
it's just one bad game. I mean, I can't. I mean, it's still a small sample size, so I can't.
Yeah. Okay, I understand it was one bad game, but what I'm saying is what was I saying? He fumbles too much. That was apparent the entire time. And there's a couple other problems, but that's the big one. If you're going to be a quarterback in this league, you have to have ball security, straight up.
Yeah, no doubt. That is a problem. That is a problem. I agree with you there.
And the fact that didn't improve from when he started starting games to when he stopped starting games, that's not good.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting team. I don't know what they're going to do with their quarterback. I mean, I think Taysom will be I think just because of the cap situation too. I don't know if they can afford a Matt Stafford or a Matt Ryan or whoever. I feel like they just don't have enough money. But they're going to be a team that's going to be interesting, you know. And I'm okay with, and I'm not saying we're going to tank, but I'm okay with if Taysom plays all next year. He's the quarterback for all next year, and we don't win a lot of games. Let's say we win 5 or 6 games next year. It'll be disappointing for sure, but you could go around and say, okay, Taysom's not the guy, but hey, we still got like a top 10 pick, top 12 pick. Maybe we can get somebody. You know, it's not the end of the world, you know, if Taysom starts quarterback next year. You know, I feel like next year, I think the Saints, in my mind, will get a pass if they don't do good. Because, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's get the game picks. We got to do that. I want to get – and I'm on a roll.
Oh, my God.
Tied up. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Because I really don't want to tie. And I feel like week 17 is whatever. I feel like this should be the final week of picks. That way we have –
of course.
No, you could – I mean, this could backfire and you could win. I mean, unless you want to do it an extra week, I mean, we could.
I want to decide after this week.
Oh, okay. I mean,
no. I mean, I agree. Week 7, but this is the thing I will say though. We do have some week 17 games that are important. Usually, and I'm not saying this as a joke, but I will say we should decide this later because there is a chance that we do tie this week. But I mean, you have tiebreakers. But the point is that there are some games that are going to be very important this week in week 17. Obviously, Steelers, Browns, but I think there's a couple more. The NFC East.
That's true too. Wow.
But anyway,
we'll see. All right. Yeah. So let's just get to the picks then. Okay. So first game this week is the Christmas matchup between the Vikings and the Saints. The Vikings, I think, are our new arch nemesis. I think I mean, we've had bad luck against them in recent years. This game would win us the division and all that. I think, and also would knock Minnesota out of the playoffs, which would be very nice. You know, screw Minnesota. So, who you got in that game?
Now, given what you just said, this is going to be a tough one. Minnesota has been looking pretty good as of recently. Saints just had a good loss to the Chiefs. I think that the Saints fix the problems that they had in the Chiefs game, and they win this. I think they win this week. Clinching the division, kicking Minnesota out of the playoffs so we don't have to play them in the playoffs and face the Minnesota curse. I think this is good. It's a good Christmas gift for Saints fans everywhere.
Yep, I agree. Saints all the way, hopefully. If they can stop Dalvin Cook, they got a good shot. I think our corners can handle their receivers. I do. Although Justin Jefferson is great.
And listen, I think we have one of the best front seven in football right now.
Oh, hands down.
Honestly.
Trey Hendrickson, snub, Pro Bowl snub. Hands down,
Pro Bowl. Straight up snub.
Now we get to some Saturday games. We have 3 Saturday games. First one is the Buccaneers at the Lions. Who you got?
I think the Buccaneers, Lions, just trying to get a good pick right now. So Tampa Bay's trying to win a division. So I think they're going to have that drive more than Detroit is. So Tampa Bay.
Yep. Next game, 49ers at the Cardinals.
Cardinals are starting to look better. I'm picking the Cardinals, but I will say this: I think that they had a really good game against the Eagles, and the Eagles all of a sudden get rid of Carson Wentz, and all of a sudden they still have a chance to win the NFC East. So,
note on the game. I think Nick Mullins is out, so they got C.J. Beathard that's going to come in and be the quarterback, and they also signed Josh Rosen off the I think Tampa.
Yeah,
so
I think regardless, Arizona wins this game. They're looking good at the right time. So,
like when I was making my picks, I was kind of going back and forth with the game because 49ers are a sneaky team. They could win on any given Sunday, I think, literally.
Yeah.
Their team, even though they have a lot of injuries and stuff, they still play hard and they can win games. So, but because Nick Mullins is out, they got Beathard in there. I think that Cardinals do win that game. It's a weird double home game because that's where San Francisco's playing now in Arizona Stadium. So it's like a home game, but it's not a home game for the 49ers, right, which is weird. So no travel involved. So that's good. The last game on Saturday, we have the Dolphins at the Raiders. I got the Dolphins. I I think the Dolphins might be the reason why the Ravens won't even get in the playoffs, potentially. Because if the Dolphins keep winning, the Ravens can't catch up to them. I think they beat the Raiders.
Yeah, no, Dolphins are looking really, really good right now. Um, I've also got the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, like the Titans, are getting hot at the right moment.
Yeah.
Titans got hot last season at the right moment. Dolphins are getting hot at the right moment towards the end of the season. So I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I don't know who they're playing next week, but I think they're going to take that momentum into the playoffs and can maybe upset somebody.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are a good team. Tua's playing really well. Defense is amazing. I think this team's gonna be good for a good bit. I think I think the AFC East will be between Buffalo and Miami for some time now. I really do. It's gonna be a good battle. Now we get to the Sunday games. The first game on Sunday is gonna be this should be a slaughter. Atlanta at Kansas City. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this one shouldn't be close. I really actually don't. I don't think I see Kansas City losing another game. I think they go 15-1. They play Atlanta this week, and they play the Chargers next week. So
Yeah, they should go on. This should be 15-1. The next game. I mean, Cleveland at the Jets. Now, you think this should be a gimme game for the Browns, but as we saw with the Rams, it might not be. I still got the Browns, obviously, but I mean,
yeah, I also have the Browns. I don't think this is as a gimme game as it was, last week. But still, we're talking about the Jets. We're talking about Cleveland, who's a better team than the Rams. So
yeah. Um, so there's that. Next game, I think potentially game of the week. Colts at the Steelers. This is a huge game for the playoffs. The Colts are still trying to win their division too. They're tied with Tennessee right now. Tennessee has the tiebreaker. But it's a big game. It's a big game. Who you got in that one?
this is the thing, and I said it earlier. I think the Colts win this game.
Yeah.
Now, look, this is the thing. Look, this is the thing. The Steelers are coming off again loss against the Bengals, so I think that they played against a really good defense in the Washington football team. They played against a really good team in the Buffalo Bills, so they weren't as worried. But now they just lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, who literally have nothing to play for in their battle on both sides of the ball. But usually in those instances, I would say Pittsburgh finds a way to bounce back because of that loss against Bengals. But this is the thing: they're running into another good team in Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis beats Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh goes 11-5. I think they go 11-5 straight up.
I think the Colts defense against that Pittsburgh offense, I think will be a big problem for Pittsburgh. I think as long as the Colts don't turn the ball over, I think the Colts and the Colts run the ball. Like Jonathan Taylor's been catching on the last couple of weeks. So if he
Yeah,
keeps that, Hines is still good. T.Y. Hilton is starting to come around too. Finally getting some good games in there. And I think as long as the Colts take care of the football and run the ball well, and the defense, does what they normally do, I think the Colts win this game. I mean, Colts. I think everyone's saying the Bills could be a team that could knock off the Chiefs. I think the Colts should get some recognition for that too, because I think the Colts defense, I would argue, maybe might be better than the Saints defense potentially. Maybe it can go. I mean,
potentially.
potentially. And I think the Colts offense right now is operating better than the Saints offense is.
Right.
I think the Colts could be a team that could upset the Chiefs. I really do.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. Tennessee too. I give Tennessee in there too because they run the ball so much and Derrick Henry. They could upset the Chiefs too. I put them in there too. Those are the three teams I think in the AFC that could potentially do it. Everyone else, I have no chance. But the next game, Bears at Jaguars. Now the Bears have been winning. The Bears are in the playoff race still. They got Jacksonville, so this could be we got in that one.
I got the Bears in that one. Bears are looking good. Again, looking good at the right moment. David Montgomery is looking amazing. And I never thought that I would say this, but for some reason, Mitch Trubisky is looking like an actual NFL quarterback right now. So,
They benched him when he was undefeated. So, like I remember at the time, what I said was like, okay, we figured that he was going to be benched at some point, but the time they benched him, we didn't agree with because he was undefeated. They were winning games with him. Why would you bench him when you're winning games? You know what I mean? That's what made no sense about it. Like it wasn't a surprise that they benched him. It was a surprise when they benched him, I think.
right.
And I think that messed up the gel of the team, to be honest. I think I would have kept Mitchell till he lost. And now Mitchell's back and they're winning games and they're still in the playoff hunt. I mean, now does that change their mind about Mitchell as a quarterback in general? Do they want to keep him or not? Probably not. But you got to give Mitch Trubisky his credit. I mean, he's playing pretty well, and they're winning games. So what more can you say, you know?
Right.
So the next game is, I mean, you know, I'm kind of off of the Giants a little bit now, to be honest, because of Daniel Jones is in and out of the lineup. But they're playing the Ravens this week. I got the Ravens. I just don't see New York doing it.
No, I don't either. I think Baltimore wins this one easily.
Yeah. Next game, Bengals at the Texans. Who you got in that one?
Now credit to Cincinnati, they did beat the Steelers, but I think they caught the Steelers at the right time to beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
Though Houston isn't looking amazing. They're coming off of 3 losses in a row against the Colts, the Bears, and then the Colts again. But
Deshaun Watson is playing at an MVP level. Although they're losing games, Deshaun Watson is playing at a line.
Yeah, and I mean, out of the last 3 losses outside of the Bears, they were close games against the Colts, and I think the Colts can beat the Steelers this week. I'm gonna go with you know what, and this, I don't know about this, but I think that the Texans will beat the Bengals.
Yeah, I do too. I just think the Texans' offense is gonna be better than the Bengals' offense right now because of Deshaun Watson. That's the only reason why I picked them over Bengals, because of Deshaun Watson. I just think
yeah,
he's just gonna be good. Next game, we got the Broncos at the Chargers.
Ooh, yeah, it's such an important game here. Chargers have been turning it around the past 2 weeks. They beat the Falcons and they beat the Raiders. Of course, both of those teams are, kind of dumpster fires. Denver, on the other hand, beat the Panthers and then lost against the Bills. It's the Bills, whatever. They've had a pretty tough schedule the past 5 weeks. I mean, the easiest game was the Panthers. They had the Dolphins, the Saints, the Chiefs, the Panthers, and the Bills.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Okay, me too. I got the Chargers. Justin Herbert's gonna be Rookie of the Year. That's gonna happen.
I don't know.
That's gonna happen.
I think Justin Jefferson might get it.
I wouldn't be mad if he got it. And he did make a Pro Bowl, so I mean, good for him.
Yeah, I don't think that should go into anything because that's fan voting. But I did see a stat. It was like only 5 rookie receivers have like done something. I forget what it was. And it was all 5 of them won Rookie of the Year except for one, and that was Marcus Colston.
Yeah, figured that one. No.
But yeah, I really think that Justin Jefferson should win Rookie of the Year. I think Justin Herbert kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I can make an argument for James Robinson too. I mean,
James Robinson could get it, but I mean, honestly, let's be honest, it's going to be between Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson.
Justin's going to win it. That's all I know.
Yeah, Justin is going to win it, and watch James wins it, and we're like, damn, we were wrong.
Next game, we have the Panthers at the football team.
So this is the thing. Washington kind of needs to win this game. If they lose this game and Philadelphia wins this game, I think if Philadelphia could beat Washington, because I think they play Washington week 17, I think Philadelphia's got a shot. I don't think it gets to that point. I think Washington wins this week, wins the division outright, pretty much.
Which good for them.
Yeah.
Although Dwayne Haskins was at a strip club or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Next game, Eagles at the Cowboys. Ooh.
I got the Eagles. Eagles have been playing like a football team more, recently with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts was a good pickup. I remember Philadelphia fans were like, why are you picking Jalen Hurts? We have Carson Wentz. But you know what? Seemed like those GMs knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got the Eagles too. Next game, a good game. Rams at the Seahawks. That's a good game.
Yeah, this is kind of an important game too. Damn, we got some important games this week. Well, obviously Los Angeles just lost to the Jets, but Up until that point, they were looking pretty good. They beat the Seahawks, they beat the Buccaneers, they barely lost to the 49ers, beat the Cardinals, beat the Patriots, and then obviously just lost to the Jets. So Rams have been looking pretty good. Seattle, on the other hand, let's see about Seattle. They're coming off a loss to the Giants, but then they beat the Jets and they beat the Washington football team. This is close, but I think I trust the Seattle Seahawks more than I trust the Los Angeles Rams to win this game, and that's my pick. I'm picking the Seahawks.
Okay, I got the Rams. Finally, be different on something. Jesus Christ.
And you weren't even telling me the picks, so.
Yeah, because I was agreeing with everything you were saying. That's why I like.
Yeah.
So that's the first time we differ. So, all right. Next game. This is another good game. This is the nightcap on Sunday. This is the Titans at the Packers. This is a huge game for Tennessee, especially.
And this is what I will say about Green Bay. Green Bay has been looking good offensively. Defensively, not so much. And you're looking at, these games that Green Bay has played. They're all pretty close. The Bears game wasn't really close, but these games are close, and the scores really don't show them because they were closer than what they were, But I think this would be the key for the game. Which offense gets hotter? Because the Tennessee's defense, I don't think, can really stop the Green Bay offense, and nor do I think the Green Bay defense can stop the Tennessee offense.
Good point.
I'm gonna go with the curveball here.
Uh-oh.
And this probably isn't good for picks, but I think that this AFC South game, this AFC South race gets really close because I think both the Colts and the Titans win this week.
Oh, me too. How about that? How about that? Yeah.
I think that Derrick Henry is going to run all over that Green Bay Packer defense. And this is the thing. If they can shut him down, you still have an A.J. Brown. You still have a Corey Davis and a Ryan Tannehill that can beat you. And I think that defense shuts Aaron Rodgers down just a little bit to where the Tennessee Titans offense can win it for them.
I think this is the way I think. Because Derrick Henry is going to go off, I expect the Titans to be able to win time of possession. I think that's where the Tennessee is going to win it. It's just they're going to have the ball longer than the Packers will. So the Packers will be more desperate and they'll be throwing the ball more. And if their defense can hold up just a little bit, I think that's where the game is won. It's just if Derrick Henry goes off, I think the Titans win easily just because of time of possession.
Now, what I need to happen, though, is I need Devontae Adams to have, 2 touchdowns. If that can happen, I'll be a happy man. But other than that, I want the Titans to win.
So the Monday game, the last game of Week 16, we got Bills and Patriots. Woo!
Yeah, Bills. Just write me down for the Bills. No need for deliberation here.
The Bills. So we only differ on one game, which is the Rams and Seahawks game, which is a good game. We got some good games.
I thought for sure that we were going to differ on that Tennessee Green Bay team. One. I thought that I was going crazy with the Tennessee pick.
It's as much as I'm a fan of Green Bay, I go back to the championship game last year against the 49ers, where the 49ers just ran all over the Packers. They don't have a good run defense, and the Tennessee, you need a good run defense. So I just think that alone is why I trust Tennessee more to win this game. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play amazing, and I think Aaron Rodgers right now I pick as my MVP. I know Mahomes is great and all. He just beat the Saints, but I think Rodgers is my MVP because he's working.
I agree. Yeah, Rodgers is working with less, and he's getting them pretty far. So I agree.
I think Rodgers is MVP. So let's get to basketball. Opening night was last night. We had the Nets Warriors and we had Clippers Lakers. The Nets destroy the Warriors. So let's get to that. KD looks good. Kyrie looks.
Yeah, I know it's only been 1 week, one game, but I feel pretty confident with my
the finals pick.
With my finals pick, yeah.
I think everyone's picking the Nets to win. And this is what I want to bring up. So obviously James Harden has been a name that's been linked to the Nets for trades. After seeing the game, I know it was against the Warriors, and I have my thoughts on the Warriors. I'll get to that in a little bit. But for the Nets, I would not trade for James Harden.
No. Oh,
Because you
no.
would give up all that depth. That depth is really good. Like Karis LeVert coming off the bench, I think he's gonna win Sixth Man of the Year.
Probably.
I
This
mean,
is this is the problem that I have with this whole James Harden situation. The Rockets are asking too much for James Harden. And now you look at a team like the Nets. I know it's only been one game, but if I was an Nets GM and I just saw them go out and destroy the Warriors like that, and it was because of KD, it was because of Kyrie, and it was because of that bench, I'm not messing with that team at all.
and this is the thing. I don't think they need James Harden to win the championship. I think they could beat the Lakers. And I
Yeah.
think what I saw last night from the Lakers too, I think the Nets could give them a real. I think it would be like a 6-7 game series. But I think the Nets could pull that one out without James Harden. I think it ruins their depth. I just think I wouldn't do it.
And this is the problem. The Rockets are asking too much for James Harden. They need to get rid of James Harden ASAP because he's being a hindrance to the Rockets right now.
Breaking news broke about 20 minutes ago. I wanted to wait till we get to basketball. So James Harden had COVID-19 during the summer before season restart, which is why he was late to league's bubble. That was the breaking news on James Harden. James Harden was also caught at a strip club, so take that for what it's worth.
But everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
But look, James Harden is actively hindering the Rockets right now.
He threw a ball at a rookie yesterday.
Yeah, he's not good for the. But this is the thing: they want too much for James Harden.
Yeah.
And teams are seeing this right now, and they're like, I don't know if I want James Harden.
If I'm any team in the NBA outside of Philadelphia, I think at this point, I wouldn't trade for James Harden. I think Philadelphia would be the only team that I think a James Harden trade would maybe make sense. Everywhere else, I don't see it working.
Well, I mean, everywhere else isn't a thing because James Harden isn't going to go to a team that isn't a contender, which.
Well, actually, no, he doesn't have a choice. Wherever the Rockets trade him to, that's where he's going until his contract's up.
I get it, but.
So, I mean, I think James Harden. I think James Harden is hurting his value, to be honest, too.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. And it's questionable if he's going to play tonight because I think the NBA is still investigating the strip club thing. So he might not even play in the opening game for the Rockets. So I think.
But I think even if he would play, would he even play? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
No, I think on the court, I think he would still do the same thing on the court. I think he'll still play like he normally does. Because he did that in preseason. He played like he normally does. Like his on court is not going to be a problem. It's off the court that's the issue right now with James Harden. I think once he's on the court, he's going to play basketball, But off the court is where the issues are. But I want to get to the Warriors, though, because I was thinking, obviously, Klay's hurt and Draymond didn't play yesterday at all. But we were all thinking the Warriors still could be a playoff team. After seeing them against the Nets, and Steph Curry did not look good, honestly. Like he didn't shoot good at all. He got 20 points, but it just wasn't good. James Wiseman looked good in garbage time, not really during the game. He looked good in garbage time. So I'm not as fond of the Warriors anymore. I don't know. I'll put them in.
I mean, look, we can.
To be honest.
They can still be a playoff team. I mean, look, we have seen one game.
I know it's just one game
from the Warriors. If it was All-Star break and the Warriors were playing this like this, I'd say, you know what? I don't think they make the playoffs. But again, we got to tell ourselves it's one game. It's one game.
But I thought Steph would look better. That's where I'm coming from. Where Steph had all this time off, his first game back, it's like I thought he would have been more. I thought he would have done a little bit better.
And see, this is my thing with Steph having all this time off. He's kind of out of the swing of things, I would make that argument. He didn't play most of last season. Plus, you got to think you had the bubble experience. He had a long time before he played again.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
now
true.
Longer than KD, and KD looks really good. But
I expected a little bit more from Steph. I just looking at the roster and what they have. I mean, I think they could definitely still make the playoffs. I'm not saying they won't, but I'm just saying I thought they'd be maybe a 5 seed. I thought maybe. But now I'm looking at them like they'd be lucky to make an 8 seed, 7 or 8 seed. I think I put them in the same tier as let's say a Pelicans and a Grizzlies and I don't know, maybe Phoenix. Maybe put Phoenix in there. I think Grizzlies maybe a little bit better, but Phoenix could be in there. Sacramento, like that type of tier. Like they're playoff hopefuls. I wouldn't say they're playoff locks or they're hopefuls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think right now, if I saw the Pelicans play the Warriors, like that I think Pelicans beat the Warriors. I just think the Pelicans right now are better.
Probably, yeah. Pelicans are
That's
looking
the way
good.
it looks. So let's get to the Clippers Lakers. Paul George showed up for once. That's good.
Probably because it's not the playoffs.
Probably, yeah. Um, that game I'm less reactionary to because it's just the first game. Clippers Lakers, no matter who won or lost, there was going to be a huge reaction of, like if the Lakers won, it's like, oh, the Clippers don't have enough. The Clippers won, it's like, oh, the Lakers, it's just the first game. It's that type of thing. So it's just one game. I think LeBron's got an injury in that game. He's dealing with some type of leg injury. He still might play Friday though, so that's good for him, I guess. So it's just the first game. I think Clippers are a little bit more motivated right now because obviously what happened in the bubble, and then obviously the Lakers had a shorter offseason than everyone else. So they're kind of getting back into it, I think. So that game you can't really judge anything off of. But I think if Paul George keeps playing like that, I think they got a shot, I guess.
Yeah, I think that they have a shot. But again, like you said, it's one game. I'm not really making any judgments about the NBA and playoffs really until All-Star break. That's when I'm going to start saying, okay, this team looks like they're a lock for the playoffs. This team looks like they're going to be on the fringe, and this team's out. But until then, it's just way too early. There's just too many games. It's not like football where you can start making assumptions even after the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But
let's get to some Pelicans. The Pelicans opened their season tonight against the Raptors in Tampa Bay. That game, I think they could definitely win. That's the first game.
Definitely.
I think if they come out strong, they can win that game, although the Raptors are a very good team. But what I really want to get to is that Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart did not get extensions with the Pelicans. They will be restricted free agents next offseason. That's it concerns me a little bit. I think though with Lonzo's situation, I think if Lonzo proves that that he is improved, because he did that last year, he improved last year, but if he improves even more this year, which I think he will do actually, I can see the Pelicans keeping him and maxing any offer that a team gives him. Josh Hart's a little more interesting because I don't know where I'd value Josh Hart in terms of number wise, and I think there's a possibility we lose Josh Hart next offseason. I don't know. So that's something to watch out for when it comes to the offseason, I think. So
And this is what I'm going to speak on that. You have two guys, Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart, that we could both say Lonzo Ball less than Josh Hart, but they don't necessarily have a established spot on this team right now. Like they're on it, but like obviously Zion, obviously Brandon Ingram, we had Drew and he had an established spot. By them not giving them these contracts, that motivates the both of them to say, okay, this is a contract year. We got to play. So I would think that the Pelicans are doing this on purpose to say, okay, we want you to work for this contract. We're not just going to give it to you.
I want to say that I think the Pelicans might have offered them a contract. Now, did they sign it or not? I don't know. I don't know the full extent of if the Pelicans even offered them something. I think if I look at this team right now, if I look at the weaknesses of this team, without actually seeing a real regular season game, you look at the starting lineup. Okay, Steven Adams we know is going to be Steven Adams and do what he's got to do. He's a great player. Zion, if healthy, he's going to do his thing. Brandon Ingram's going to do his thing. Eric Bledsoe's a veteran. He's going to do his thing. The only liability is Lonzo on the starting lineup. If Lonzo and I know Stephen Gundy and JJ is trying to get him to shoot the ball more, and if he does that and it does it at a good percentage, and obviously I think Lonzo said in his introductory press conference that I'm a triple-double threat. He's at least a double-double threat. If he can average more than 10 points, and he can definitely get 10 assists a game. If he's a double-double threat, I think perfect. And if he thinks he's a triple-double threat, if he can do that,
go for it.
I mean, so I think Lonzo, if he – and I think that's the thing too. Like, Stephen Gundy is, like, prioritizing Lonzo, like, shoot the ball. You know what I mean? They want Lonzo to shoot. And if he can get that confidence in his shot and, like I said, make him at a good percentage, I don't see no reason why the Pelicans wouldn't keep him and match him.
Well, this is the thing. I don't see why you wouldn't want Lonzo to shoot. He shoots the ball. Look at who you got in the paint. Like, shoot the ball. If you miss it, look who's going for the rebound. You got Steven Adams. You got Zion Williamson. I don't see why it's an issue. Just lob it up. Like, go for it.
In the game against Milwaukee, he looked pretty good. I mean, he shot the ball pretty good against Milwaukee. I think I think now because Lonzo also said now he had like a full off season, although not really a full off season, but I guess best off season he had to work on his shot. And the Pelicans kept Fred Vincent on the staff, who was their shooting coach, so that's a huge deal too. I don't see no reason why Lonzo can't at least average close to 15 points a game next year or this year.
I don't see why.
I'm excited to see what Lonzo's going to do, and I think we will keep Lonzo. Now Josh Hart's a little interesting because he's a role player. I don't know. Obviously, the Pelicans love Josh Hart. I mean, everyone loves Josh Hart, but I mean, it's a numbers game with him. How much money does he want? I think that's going to be the thing. If he's asking for too much, that could be a problem. But
I think if Josh Hart was smart, he would lower it to stay on the Pelicans.
Yeah, because here's the thing too. Another thing too. Our bench is going to be very different next year. I think because this is his last year of his deal. Is he going to want to return to New Orleans for another deal, or is he going to go somewhere else? That's the thing. JJ is kind of that journeyman guy. He goes to a lot of teams. I don't know if he's going to want to stay. He loves New Orleans. I know he does. He said that, but does he want to stay for another 2 years or whatever? Does he want to retire maybe? Who knows? So that's a question we got to answer too in the offseason.
And look, I will say about Josh Hart, who knows? Maybe he has a breakout season,
He very well could. He very well could. I mean, I like this roster. I really do. Like, I think this is the best roster we've had probably
That's Pelicans finals. Let's go.
Oh, man, that'd be amazing. I think Zion led the preseason in scoring too. So, I mean, if Zion – as long as Zion's healthy, I don't see no reason why this team can't make a playoff run. I don't see no reason why we can't.
I'm breakout player of the year, question mark? With no minutes restrictions on him?
Yeah, I mean, so this game tonight, although this is the first game of the season, I'm really looking for the Pelicans to win this game. I really am. I mean, I'm not going to say panic if they lose, but I want them to win this game. I want to see Pelicans stick it to the Raptors,
I think you know what, and I think they can. I think the Raptors is a team that it's not a insanely difficult win, but if we beat the Raptors, like, ooh, they beat the Raptors. Hold on,
Yeah.
So
because the Raptors lost Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, so they lost some pieces. I don't know who they gained.
They lost their big guys outside of Spicy P, but Spicy P's going up against Zion Williamson and Steven Adams. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm excited, and the Pelicans also play Christmas Day against the Heat, which should be an interesting game. Which another game I think we can win.
Yeah. So hopefully, it's hopefully a good day for Louisiana sports fans.
Yeah, Christmas Day, hopefully. Yeah. So I'm excited. Basketball is back. I'm ready. I'm so happy. Yeah. So I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you, Echo, for joining us. And remember to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram, sports@DGMat1. We'll be back next Wednesday, next Tuesday, whatever day, it doesn't matter.
Next Tuesday's fine, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week with, again, Week 16 recap and update on the Pelicans as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas. Hope Santa doesn't put coal in your stocking because that sucks if he does. So, yeah.